to them. And the sages, numbering 88,000 in number, are headed by Shaunaka Rishi. And Shaunaka is questioning Suta Goswami about Srila Sukadeva Goswami. What did he inquire from him? And he is also describing Sukadeva Goswami as a highly learned sage and was able to describe things in a poetic manner. So Sukadeva Goswami's particular qualification of being poetic is mentioned by Srila Prabhupada in this purport. The presentation of Srimad-Bhagavatam by his recitation, that means Sukadeva Goswami's recitation, is the highest poetic contribution. He was a self-realized learned sage. In other words, he was a poet amongst the sages. So, it's interesting to note the personality of Srila Sukadeva Goswami, how he was born, and how he received the knowledge of Srimad-Bhagavatam, and how he described Srimad-Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. So it's a very unique birth, Sukadeva Goswami's, because especially modern scientists will not be able to even comprehend the birth of Sukadeva Goswami, because children or babies, they stay in the womb of a mother only for 9 months. Okay? But Sukadeva Goswami stayed in his mother's womb for 16 years. So if you go and tell this, that there was a baby, for 16 years the baby was in the mother's womb, it will be difficult for modern scientists and doctors to believe that how is it possible child can remain in the mother's womb for 16 years. They will dismiss it as biologically impossible. But that is the way of presentation of Vedic literatures. Laws of material world, laws of material nature are applicable to all of us who are conditioned souls. But those who are specially empowered personalities, the laws need not be applicable. This logic is very important. For all the people in the city, laws are applicable. If the traffic signal is there, everybody has to follow. For ambulance, there is no traffic signal. Ambulance can go. If Chief Minister's vehicle comes, Prime Minister's vehicle comes, there is no question of traffic signal. They can just go. So even in this material world, we see that laws are not uniformly applicable to everyone. For different people, different laws are applicable. If somebody is in a very special position, normal laws are not applicable. So similarly, for all conditioned souls in this world, it is a law that the child has to remain in the mother's womb for 9 months, and after 9 months the baby comes out. It doesn't happen something very wrong. The baby is there for 9.5 months, 10 months, it is considered some biological disorder. But Sukadeva Goswami, or personalities mentioned in the Srimad-Bhagavatam, are not ordinary personalities. They are not under the laws of this material world. Therefore, there is nothing wonderful in the description that the child was there in the mother's womb for 16 years. This is the way we need to understand these kind of descriptions mentioned in the Vedic scriptures and present it to the modern mind. Because the modern scientific mind is completely, their thinking is fixed in unidimensional way. We see laws all around us. Therefore, there cannot be anybody who is beyond these laws. That is the thinking of the modern educated mind. Laws are there, everybody dies, everybody is born, everybody grows old. So therefore, there cannot exist personalities who are beyond these laws. But Vedic literatures are presenting information about personalities who are beyond these laws to different degrees. The devatas are beyond the laws of this world to a different degree, and other personalities are beyond the laws of this world to different degree. The Supreme Lord and His pure devotees are completely beyond all laws. So this logic is very important to understand, to appreciate and not dismiss these kind of descriptions in the Srimad-Bhagavatam as mythology or a figment of imagination. So Sukadeva Goswami, he was there in the womb of his mother for 16 years. But why was he there for 16 years? Because he did not want to come out of this material, of his mother's womb, material world. He was well aware. Imagine, the child in the womb of the mother is having such advanced knowledge that outside this material world is very, very contaminating, What is the contamination? The three modes of material nature, Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. And if I come, I will get influenced. I don't want to come. So this was Sukadeva Goswami's firm determination. Then the Lord himself had to come, it is said, and then convince Sukadeva Goswami, my dear sir, please come out. I assure you, you will not be contaminated by this material world. So then he agreed to come. Imagine, very special birth. Which baby is there who can take a decision? Okay, now I will come out of my mother's womb. No baby can take such a decision. But Sukadeva Goswami in the womb of his mother was conscious enough to decide whether to come out, not to come out, when to come out. So this much level of power of attorney is given to Sukadeva Goswami by the Supreme Lord to be able to surpass the laws of this material world. So then he came out of the mother's womb, and it is said immediately he grew up into a young boy of 16 years old. And as soon as he came out of the mother's womb, he simply started walking away from home, wandering. So his father Vyasadeva was very, very perplexed. Why? Because according to Vedic system, there are certain samskaras, certain Vedic purificatory processes, certain rituals which are supposed to be done. There is the initial samskara called Vidyarambha, then there is Anna, the first time the child is fed food, then Upanayana, so many samskaras are there. Sukadeva Goswami did not care for and the samskaras and rituals of the Vedic culture and tradition. He simply started walking away from home. So his father was very astonished, very perplexed. What is this? No samskara, nothing. Because in the Vedic times, today nobody cares for any samskara. But at least 5,000 years ago, just at the beginning of Kali Yuga, end of Dwapara Yuga, society was very, very cautious about all these things. One has to be properly initiated into the Varnashrama system, and then only he is a proper member of the society. Otherwise, they are all considered as not in the category of Varnashrama Dharma. They cannot reside in the society. Why? Because if they are not within the system of Varnashrama and they don't follow the rules and regulations of Varnashrama, they will pollute others. He will perform adharma. He will inspire others also to perform adharma. So such personalities are not allowed. Just like in today's system, we have a system. Somebody is not following the laws of the government, he is not allowed to live in the society. He is taken to the police station, he is put in jail. Unless you reform yourself, you cannot come back and live with the people here. Why? Because we cannot allow adharma to go unchecked. So similarly, in the Varnashrama Dharma also, Vedic times also, everybody has to follow dharma, and if people violate dharma, then they will be kept outside the society. So that is how Bhagavatam also mentions Kirat, Ahuna, Andhra, Pulinda, Pulkasha. Many different types of races and personalities are mentioned. Why? Because they all don't come under the umbrella of Varnashrama Dharma. They do not follow the rules and regulations of Varnashrama Dharma. So there is a different way in which they have to be encouraged and purified. So Sukadeva Goswami, when he walked away like this, his father was, hey, no samskara, he is not caring for anything. What is this? Then he was told that no, you are of Varnashrama Dharma. He is not going to get attracted to anything of this material world. Now, that also is a very special thing. And in one particular instance, we see how Sukadeva Goswami was not attracted to anything of this world. When Sukadeva Goswami was walking, he was just a young boy, a 16-year-old boy, very handsome physical features. And he was walking, passing through a particular place. There was a pond, and some young women were taking bath there. And when he was walking by, it is said, the young women did not feel any kind of shyness. They did not even bother to immediately cover themselves. The Vedic times, the system was there. There are certain places which are restricted, where women would go and take bath. And Prabhupada says, no male person can ever enter or even go in that direction. That was the system in those days. So when Sukadeva Goswami passed through that place, the young women, they did not even bother to cover themselves. And behind, following him, his father, Vyasadeva, when he passed, then immediately the young women, they covered themselves. So Vyasadeva asked, my dear young women, I am like your grandfather, so elderly person. So the shyness that you have shown when I am passing through, you have not shown when through. Why? What is the reason? So the young women replied, your son does not make any distinction between male and female. He is so innocent. He is beyond all these things. So this point is mentioned in Srimad-Bhagavatam, that absolutely there is no trace of lust or kama in the consciousness of Sukadeva Goswami. And because he has no trace of lust, there is no kama in him, therefore the rules and regulations of Vedic scriptures are not applicable to him. He need not follow. This is the position. Because the rules and regulations of Vedic literatures are for all those personalities who are pushed and influenced by lust, kama. That is why in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 16th chapter, Krishna says, Shastra vidhi mutsrijya vartate kamakarataha. Shastra vidhi, the vidhi of the Shastra, if somebody gives up, then it is kamakarataha. He is simply acting whimsically to satisfy his lust. So laws of the scriptures, rules and regulations of the Vedic literatures are applicable to conditioned souls of this world. But if somebody is free from kama, then the rules and regulations of Vedic literatures are not applicable to him. That is why in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yasya sarve samaramba kama sankalpa varjitaha. A person who is kama sankalpa varjitaha, every action is devoid of lust. For him, these things are all not applicable actually. He is beyond all these things. Tasya karyam na vidyate. There is no duty for him. The duties mentioned in the Varnashrama Dharma are not applicable to him. So Sukadeva Goswami, in this way he went. So Vyasadeva was perplexed. How to call my son back? How to get him back? What is it that he'll be attracted to? So then somebody suggested, your son is not going to be attracted to anything within the material world. Even the Vedic literatures, the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Puranas, the Smritis, whatever is there, all these things cannot attract his consciousness. He is completely fixed up in Brahman. He is beyond it. What is it that can attract him? How can I bring my son back home? He simply walked away without any samskara. Then they suggested, please recite the verses of Srimad-Bhagavatam. Srimad-Bhagavatam is the only subject matter which can attract the consciousness of Sukadeva Goswami, because it is completely transcendental and beyond even the Vedic literatures. So then Vyasadeva decided to recite the verses of the Srimad-Bhagavatam, and upon hearing the Srimad-Bhagavatam, immediately Sukadeva Goswami was attracted. So in this way, what is the standard of Srimad-Bhagavatam, that is also explained through the life of Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami, a personality who was completely unattached to anything of this world. He didn't bother for anything. He doesn't care for any samskara, any rules, regulations. He didn't even bother to wear clothes. Covering one's body is a symptom of civilized life. If people roam around naked, then they are called uncivilized. But Sukadeva Goswami is not uncivilized because he is Avaduta. He is beyond these rules and regulations of even having to cover one's own body. That is the level of Sukadeva Goswami. So without even bothering to wear clothes, without even bothering to cover one's body, he simply walked around naked. And Vyasadeva was told, in order to bring your son back, then the only way is please recite the verses of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. And the only thing Sukadeva Goswami paid any attention to was Srimad-Bhagavatam. Shri Krishna Rukmani Satyabhama ki jai. The only thing that could attract the consciousness of Sukadeva Goswami was Srimad-Bhagavatam. He didn't care for anything else. And in the Srimad-Bhagavatam, one particular pastime of Lord Krishna immensely attracted the attention of Sukadeva Goswami. And that was the pastime of Putana being killed by Krishna. Putana, as we all know, she used to kill so many young children by smearing poison on her breast. And under the plea and protection of children, she had killed thousands and thousands of babies. And Kamsa had sent Putana to kill Krishna. So Putana entered Vrindavan, the place where Yashodamai and Nanda Maharaj and Rohini and all the other personalities were there. Her form was very ghora, being a Rakshasi. But she transformed herself into a very beautiful woman. So much so that when she entered Vrindavan, all the Vrajavasis thought, Lakshmi Devi has come here. She is so beautiful, she is so auspicious to look at. So she, by deception, she came inside, appeared like Lakshmi Devi, and because she appeared like Lakshmi Devi and so divine, nobody objected to Putana going inside and roaming in all the houses very freely. And straight she went to Yashodamai's house where Krishna was there. Krishna was a mere child, and then she picked up child Krishna. She had already smeared very deadly poison on her breast, and as soon as Krishna sucked the breast of Putana, Krishna also sucked the life air out of Putana, and this way Putana was killed. And immediately her form transformed into a very huge, ghora, very ugly form. Bhagavatam mentions the size of Putana's body was 12 miles. Can you imagine? Such a huge form. And it is also mentioned that because Krishna, baby Krishna, had touched the body of Putana, when the body was being burnt, there was no bad smell. Very, very, very auspicious fragrance was coming because of the touch of Krishna. That apart, what Bhagavatam mentions there is that Krishna gave the position of Dhatri or nurse to Putana just because she had disguised herself as a mother. Just because she had disguised herself as a mother. Her intention was to kill Krishna. And she was the most cruel among all the associates of Kamsa because she used to kill young, innocent children by smearing poison on her breast, and on the pretext of giving mother's milk, she had killed so many children. So you can imagine how cruel Putana was. Such a cruel personality. And she came with the intention of killing Krishna. And just because she had disguised herself in the form of a mother, as a nurse, she came. Krishna gave credit to Putana for that little, even deceptive devotional service, that little intention. Krishna gave credit to Putana, and she gave her the position of Mother Yashoda. Position means as assistant to Mother Yashoda, the position of mother in the spiritual world. It is said all the asuras the Lord kills, they all merge into the body of the Lord as Brahma Jyoti, into the Brahman effulgence of the Lord, except Putana. Putana directly went to Goloka Vrindavan for this special mercy of the Lord. So this was the position of Putana. So this, when Sukadeva Goswami heard, when the verses of the Bhagavatam were recited, and Sukadeva Goswami heard this quality of Krishna, that Krishna is so merciful, that even a little good quality somewhere he finds in some personality, he gives credit for that. And Sukadeva Goswami is immediately attracted to this wonderful quality of Krishna. That Krishna is so merciful. Such a cruel lady was Putana. So many innocent children she had killed. And here also she came with the intention of killing Krishna, not for any other service. But because she disguised herself as a nurse, Krishna gave her the position of Mother Yashoda. This quality of Putana immediately attracted Sukadeva Goswami, and he was attracted to Krishna. And he immediately became inquisitive. Who is that personality who is so merciful? That who has shown so much amount of mercy to such a cruel lady called Putana. So Sukadeva Goswami was till that time completely unattached. He didn't care for any samskara, didn't care of any Vedic rules and regulations. He didn't even bother to dress himself, cover himself. He was simply roaming around naked. When he heard the verses of the Bhagavatam, immediately he came back home. So Vyasadeva was very satisfied. Son has come back home. And that is how Vyasadeva taught Srimad-Bhagavatam to Sukadeva Goswami. And Sukadeva Goswami was not attached to anything else other than Srimad-Bhagavatam. This is the position of Sukadeva Goswami. And in the Bhagavatam, in the very beginning itself, Sukadeva Goswami's position, after being described, in the third verse itself, this verse comes in the Bhagavatam. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukamukat amrita dravasamyutam. In the very beginning of the Bhagavatam itself, Bhagavatam glorifies Sukadeva Goswami. That this Bhagavatam is so great that it is Nigama kalpataro. The Vedic literatures are considered as kalpataro. Kalpataro means a desired tree from which one can get whatever one wants. That is the presentation of Vedic literature. The Vedas are full of rules and regulations and rituals. If people perform, they can get punya and they can get whatever they want. Unfortunately, in modern civilization, people are not even aware of this principle of the Vedic literatures to enjoy life materially. People are so foolish, being deviated from the Vedic path. They are thinking simply, I work hard, I will enjoy, I will earn money, and I will become very rich. Such an ignorant perception this is. And so many thought leaders and powerful personalities have written books on this. Dream, desire, deserve, think, all these things. All crazy ideas. There is a way of fulfilling all the desires that a person may have in this world within the Vedic literatures. There is a way. Vedic literatures are very clear. If you want something, perform punya. If you want to become very rich, then perform this punya. You want to become very handsome, perform that punya. You want to become the most learned scholar, very intelligent, perform that punya. You want to become very powerful, have a huge army under you, control large swathes of land, hundreds of battles you want to win, powerful king, perform this punya. Anything that you want, Vedic literatures have got direction. And formerly in the society there were qualified brahmanas, their only business was to give direction. Consultants. They were consultants of those age. Today, without Vedic knowledge, people have become consultants. They're trying to give direction to people. Do this will happen, do this, that will happen, control your mind, power of mind, this will happen, that will happen. So many courses are being conducted, but they are not aware of the subtle laws of nature. That unless a person has performed punya, unless a person has accumulated sufficient punya, simply by his endeavor alone, one cannot achieve anything in life. So all these so-called advertisements, the person attended this course, he read this book, a 7-day course, 15-day course, and then he was very successful. They all show only one side of the story. 1,000 people would have attended that course. 15 people have become successful because their karma was there. Other 85 people, how many people went crazy, how many people committed suicide by following all that? Nobody, that is never presented in the advertisement. It's all one-sided position. So we have to educate people. Not necessarily everybody may desire to go back to Krishna by practicing Krishna consciousness. That is our ultimate goal. But many people may be attached to so many desires. They have so many things to fulfill. We should educate the people. Simply by human endeavor alone, one cannot achieve anything. One has to have punya. If that punya is not there, then Vedic literature say, wait, accumulate punya. Wait for 2 lifetimes, 3 lifetimes, 4 lifetimes. When your punya is accumulated, you can also become a very rich man, very powerful man, very influential person in the society. But people are not ready to wait. They want everything right now. Right now will not work. Kala has to sanction. Karma has to be there. Because this system of fulfilling desires by performing punya itself creates some kind of spiritual consciousness in the person. He starts understanding there are higher personalities, there are higher laws. Success and failure are not completely under my control. I perform punya, I accumulate punya, I will enjoy. At the same time, I must avoid papa karma. If I perform sinful activities, I will suffer. So everybody must become cognizant of this finer law. That is why the Vedic literatures are designed in such a way to encourage people to perform punya and discourage people from perform papa karma. That itself elevates a person. May not be to perfect Krishna consciousness, but it prepares a person to accept the higher message of Krishna consciousness. So therefore Vedas are called Nigama Kalpataro. It's like a desire tree, and there are full of instructions and directions for performing different kinds of yajnas and rituals and sacrifices and so many things. And if you do all those things successfully, then you can get what you want. And Bhagavatam is considered as Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam. It is the nectarian fruit of that desire tree. Because when one performs punya like that, tries to avoid papa like that, he becomes thoroughly confused as to what is the ultimate purpose of the Vedas. For many, many lifetimes, a person goes on performing punya and he tries to avoid papa, but it is not so easy to avoid papa karma. That is where the catch is. Very intelligently, Krishna has designed this universe and the Vedic literatures in such a way that you perform some punya and get some pious credit. That also, if it is done meticulously. If the yajna is not performed properly, then you will not get what you want. It is not simply some chanting mantras, some half-assad work you do and then you will get what you want. Very, very meticulously the rules and regulations have to be followed. And one also has to avoid papa karma. If one does not avoid papa karma, then he will suffer, he will lose his punya. So careful it is. Just like it once happened, Bhagavatam mentions Indra was sitting on his elephant, Airavata. And imagine, for a soul to sit on the position of Indra is not easy. He has to perform lot of punya karma. It is said 108 Ashwamedha yajnas he has to perform. One Ashwamedha yajna itself is so difficult. If successfully completes, it's a very big thing. But if he performs 100 Ashwamedha yajnas, 100 or 108, one of the number, then he becomes Indra. So anybody who is sitting on the post of Indra, by all that hard work and endeavor, by performing so much of Ashwamedha yajna, he has got the right to sit as Devendra. He is the king of heaven. So Indra was like that, he was sitting. So once one rishi came and the rishi gave one flower garland to Indra. Now Indra, he could have received the garland, he could have put it on himself, so many things he could have done. Indra gave it to his elephant Airavata. And Airavata, after all, is an elephant. Airavata threw that garland in a very disrespectful way. That's all. The rishi was totally angry with Indra. Immediately cursed him. Indra, you disrespected me, you lose your punya. And Indra has to run behind. You see, by studying the life of Indra, we can understand how this whole punya papa business is a big headache. After doing all the hard work, Indra has gone there. He has got a powerful elephant. He has got hundreds of servants under him. Everything is there. One mistake he does, he is in trouble. So Indra always gets into trouble like this. He knows, Indra knows the laws of dharma. He knows flower garland should not be disrespected. But he commits mistake. Like that, many instances are there. There is another instance. Indra is sitting on his asana in his darbar. He is watching all the apsaras dance. He is enjoying himself. Suddenly his guru comes, Brihaspati comes. Indra forgets to get up and offer respect. He forgets to get up and offer respect. He forgets that by the blessings of Brihaspati, I have got all these things. And Brihaspati understands. Indra has become too proud now. So, Brihaspati being a sage, he does not chastise. He simply disappears from the scene. And then Indra realizes, after a couple of minutes, Indra realizes, oh, I have offended Brihaspati. Then he runs behind him, Brihaspati is not there. That's all. By the time the Asuras attack and Indra has lost his Devendrapuri. He has lost his capital. So Vedic literatures are like that. One works very hard, accumulates punya, but if there are any mistakes, suffering will come. So nobody is free from suffering. So, but Bhagavatam is Nigamakalpataror Galitam Palam. It is the essential nectarian fruit of this Srimad-Bhagavatam, which helps us to cut off both punya and papa and get devotional service to Krishna. This is the position of Srimad-Bhagavatam. Therefore, Bhagavatam is considered the highest literature, the topmost literature. The essence of the fruit of the essential portion of the tree is the fruit. That fruit is Srimad-Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam mentions Shukhamukat Amrita Drava Samyutam. Already Bhagavatam is the Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam. It is the fruit of this tree of Vedic literature. Already it is wonderful. But because it has been touched by the mouth of Sukadeva Goswami, Shukhamukat Amrita Drava Samyutam, it has become even more nectarian. Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. So the sages of Naimisharanya are calling everyone, please come and drink the nectar of Srimad-Bhagavatam. So this is the position of Srimad-Bhagavatam, and very poetic way, very beautifully, Sukadeva Goswami has described the Srimad-Bhagavatam. Originally, Krishna spoke Bhagavatam in 4 verses to Brahma. It comes in the 2nd canto, Chatushloki Bhagavatam. Only 4 verses. Bhagavatam originally consists of only 4 verses. Only 4 verses Krishna spoke to Brahma. Brahma understood. Entire Bhagavatam Brahma understood. You can imagine how intelligent Brahma is. Then in the disciplic succession, that 4 verses, Chatushloki Bhagavatam, it gets expanded further. Further explanation is given, further explanation is given, further explanation is given. Then Vyasa spoke to Sukadeva Goswami, and then Sukadeva Goswami understood the essence of the Bhagavatam. Then when he spoke it to Parikshit Maharaj, further, that is what is described here as Pibata Amrita Drava Samyutam, because it has been touched by the nectarian lips of Sukadeva Goswami. So therefore, Prabhupada writes, it is the most poetic, highest poetic contribution. Presentation of Srimad-Bhagavatam is the highest poetic contribution. But for us in Kali Yuga, to be able to even appreciate what Sukadeva Goswami has presented is also not very easy, because the language is not accessible, the subject matter is very difficult. So therefore, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we are able to appreciate the message of Sukadeva Goswami. This is where Prabhupada's very important contribution comes. Prabhupada, by translating these 2 books, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad-Bhagavatam, in a language in which we can understand, modern, scientifically educated, modern mind, if he has to appreciate the exalted subject matter mentioned in the Srimad-Bhagavatam, then Prabhupada's presentation, his purports, have been singularly instrumental in taking this message of Srimad-Bhagavatam across the world. Before Prabhupada wrote his commentary on Bhagavad Gita and Srimad-Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam was already there. But how many people understood across the world? How many people read Bhagavatam? How many of us even knew what the Bhagavatam is talking about? So therefore, Prabhupada's presentation of Srimad-Bhagavatam in the form Bhaktivedanta purports is particularly a very, 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 very important contribution by which the whole world today is able to appreciate the message of Srimad-Bhagavatam. If these purports were not there, nobody would have understood what Bhagavatam is. Nobody would have understood that how Krishna is the cause of all causes, how devotional service to Krishna is the topmost subject matter. Even now there are many people, very pious people, very intelligent people, very religious people. 63 crore people went and visited Kumbh Mela in the month of February and March. Very pious, very religious people. They have faith in the Vedas, they have faith in the scriptures. Still, they are attached to the punya and papa of the Vedic literatures. Their knowledge does not go beyond that. Therefore, because they are attached to punya and papa, they are very eager to perform punya karma and very eager to avoid papa karma. But in Kali Yuga especially, this is not easy. The atmosphere is filled with sinful activity. Knowingly, unknowingly, everybody commits papa karma. And result of that is suffering. When suffering comes, person is bewildered. I have done so much punya karma. I have gone to Kumbh Mela so many times. So many temples I have visited. So many yajnas I have done. So many things I have done. Why I am suffering? Why my punya is not helping me to avoid my suffering? People get confused like that. People get bewildered like that. Therefore, this message of Srimad-Bhagavatam, which tells us or which explains all these things in detail, that punya is there, papa is there, there is no point in being attached to both of them. One cannot avoid suffering by simply following the path of the Vedic literatures. One has to follow Bhagavata Dharma. Bhagavata Dharma alone can give a person ultimate solution and freedom from all suffering. And what is that ultimate freedom from all suffering? Prabhupada explains in his Markandeya Bhagavata, when Prabhupada wrote that poem on the Jalatuta diary. There, Prabhupada writes, "Only by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. I am sure," Prabhupada is addressing Krishna. So therefore he is saying, "Only by your causeless mercy, my words will become pure. I am sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, they will certainly feel engladdened and become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life." So everybody is searching for some rasa, everybody is searching for some happiness. Especially nowadays with social media, people are searching, this YouTube video will give some happiness, this Instagram reel will give some happiness, this will give some happiness, new match has come, new series has come, new cinema has come, this has come, that has come, that has come. Everywhere people are searching. They are hoping this will give happiness, this will give happiness, this will give happiness, that will give happiness. Everywhere people are hoping, but people don't find happiness anywhere. That's actual fact. So Prabhupada is giving the secret here. I am sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, this shabda, this sound vibration which is coming down in disciplic succession from Krishna himself, this sound has got the power to give happiness to the people. This divine sound of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, when it is received from the parampara of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Srila Prabhupada, it's very important. People are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Even outside of ISKCON, people are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Mantra is known to others. But when this mantra is received in the parampara of Sri Chaitanya through his divine grace, Srila Prabhupada, it has got a special mystic effect, which only that particular way of receiving can give. That is why all those people who have received Hare Krishna Mahamantra from ISKCON, from Prabhupada, their life has transformed and changed like never before. They will become totally different persons in 2-3 years, 5 years, 6 years. They've given up their desire for sense gratification. They stopped movies, they stopped cricket, they stopped cinema, they stopped restaurant, everything is stopped. How? People are surprised, shocked. How is it at this young age you are all able to give up all these things? What is the secret? So Prabhupada is mentioning here. This transcendental message penetrates their hearts. So the words of Srila Prabhupada, which is coming directly from the spiritual world, either it is Hare Krishna Mahamantra or some quotes or some lectures or anything, this divine sound which is coming from the mouth of Srila Prabhupada, it actually enters the ears of all the people who are hearing. It actually penetrates their subtle body, it touches their soul. And then people feel a sense of happiness which they have never experienced anywhere before. That is actually Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, and that is actually this preaching mission. This preaching mission, spreading Krishna consciousness, simply means this divine sound has to reach everybody's ears. Everybody, Prabhupada says, everyone should be given a chance to hear about Krishna. And these temples of Hare Krishna movement are an opportunity for people to hear about Krishna. Accept or reject comes later. Let them first hear that there is something like this. After that, let the people decide whether I want this or I want something else. At least that opportunity to share. Then there is a chance for them to compare. So far I heard so many things. Now I heard something from Hare Krishna movement. This is better or this is better. There is a chance for them to compare and decide. If they don't even hear, they have heard only one thing all these years, how will they know something like this exists? But the power of this sound vibration, which is coming in disciplic succession through Srila Prabhupada's books, quotes, lectures, or even the Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanted by Srila Prabhupada, is it has the power to penetrate the hearts of the living entities. And that is what happened to all the hippies. The hippies were completely covered by the modes of passion and ignorance. What samskara they had, what did they know about Rama, what did they know about Krishna? They were all completely absorbed in tamoguna and rajoguna. Practically, they were all like animals only. And Prabhupada single-handedly went there and simply he sat down under the park and he chanted Hare Krishna Mahamantra for 4 hours, 5 hours every day. And that sound which emanated from Prabhupada's mouth, it penetrated the hearts of all those hippies. And it created a revolution in their heart. Nothing else they did. Neither they learned Sanskrit, nor they learned Bhagavad Gita, nor they learned Srimad-Bhagavatam, nor any samskara, nor did they knew anything. All that they did was they were fortunate to hear the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which was sung by Srila Prabhupada. That's all they did. And that Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that divine sound from Prabhupada's mouth actually penetrated their hearts. And they all became very enthusiastic to chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And within 5-6 months of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they became expert preachers. The entire knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad-Bhagavatam was revealed to them. They went all over the world, started giving big lectures. You are not this body, you are spirit, soul. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godly, gross body, subtle body, Advaita, Vishishtadvaita, everything they started speaking. Generally, it takes years of study to do all these things. They had not done any years of study. All that they did was, they heard Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And that sound penetrated their heart. And that actually gave them so much enthusiasm. They went and spoke this to other people. They also received this same kind of effect on them. This way, the Krishna consciousness movement has been spreading since 1966. For the last 60 years, same thing is happening. And every single person today who is seriously attached with ISKCON, who is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the same effect has happened to all personalities. So the credit goes to this divine sound. So as Bhagavatam says, Shukamukad Amrita Drava Samyutam, spoken by Sukadeva Goswami, it has become even more nectarian. And from Sukadeva Goswami, Srila Prabhupada has received it in the disciplic succession. And because we were fortunate to hear this sound vibration from Srila Prabhupada, either through lectures or some audio or from YouTube video or through books or somebody else is giving some lecture or discourse, we have become recipients of this divine sound vibration. And that has given us this little attachment to Krishna consciousness. That is the power of this divine sound. So, if we can continue this and we can spread this to others, this divine sound vibration is the only hope for peace and happiness in this Kali Yuga. Except for this divine sound vibration which is being disseminated through this disciplic succession, there is no point in searching for happiness anywhere. There is no cinema, there is no cricket series, there is no restaurant, there is nothing of this material world can give real satisfaction and happiness to a person's soul. That is why Bhagavatam says, Yaya Atma Suprasidati. By hearing this divine message, a person's soul is Suprasidati. The person is fully satisfied. So, ever-increasing happiness and satisfaction is available by association with this transcendental sound. Ever-increasing. This ever-increasing is mentioned by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ananda Ambudhi Vardhanam. Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So that is the effect of this divine sound. And if we can receive this very faithfully, if somebody can receive, somebody can develop very strong faith in Srila Prabhupada, then he himself will become very happy and satisfied, and he becomes empowered to distribute this spiritual happiness and satisfaction to others. So with these few words, we will stop now. Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.